Good morning. How is everybody this morning? Manny, Radis, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you guys. Looks like a small stream today. It's good. good. That means I'm going to get stuff done. That's how it usually works. And then we get raided by a bunch of people. And I'm totally distracted again. Oh, man. So yesterday I was out, had a crazy headache in the morning. So I kind of took the day and rested. So I'm feeling like super centered right now and ready to get stuff done. Week's been pretty good. You know, aside from yesterday, week was great. For really no reason. It's just been one of those weeks where it's like everything's gone according to plan. Things are moving forward. Nothing's like, there's no crazy achievement, but we're making progress on a bunch of stuff at work and family's good. Everybody's happy, healthy. It's good. Everything's great. How about you guys? Manny, Radis, how you doing? Oh, it's good coffee today. We went back to Boy and the Bear. We were using, we were drinking, what is that called? Kind of a local roaster. I forget what the name of it was, but back to what we know. Boy and the Bear. I think this is Red Mancho, which is a honey washed bean. So good. All right, so I think we're just going to jump right in today. And really the goal for today is to make a bunch of progress and just kind of lay out the rest of these static pages. So let me share my screen with you guys. So we've gotten the now page reasonably figured out. We still need to do some work on the slider, and there's a bunch of scroll animations and stuff to do, but we're going to do that after we get the rest of the pages laid out. We really want to focus on our resources page, content page, the projects page, all of these like collection list pages here, and then move into collab. I'm reasonably happy with the work that we've done on our blog post page, like the content page. The only thing that I'm like just a little bit meh on is the type styling. So we may tweak that a little bit there. But yeah, those 4 pages are you know, hopefully we can smash through these today. The thing that we're gonna have to figure out though is our collection list or our collection strategy. So we've got a couple of different collections here that I've planned for, but as I was bringing things in and sorting things out, I realized that there were more collections that I had planned. So to figure that out. Radis here working with influencers, so that's fun. Seeing mastery level of so-called brand and design experts in social media. Oh, interesting. Wow. Cornelius, hello. Well, welcome. Of course, Moon Raid. Hello. How's it going? Yeah, it's interesting. I think when we, as social media, I guess influencers, I hate that term. People who put content out on social media, content creators is probably a better term for us. It's very easy to plant your flag as an expert and then seek to prove it afterwards. And that's fine as long as you're actually developing true mastery. For me, I absolutely don't want to claim expertise in anything, to be honest. I'd rather just bring you guys along for the journey and share the bumps and bruises along the way. Like I've said that several times on this. You know, I've done websites that we've charged $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for, and I still wouldn't call myself an expert in either the web or typography or web design or dev or anything like that, because there's always so much to learn. So yeah, that's where I stand on the issue. Enjoying the coffee? All right, nice. I'm enjoying it as well. Oh All right, so when I initially approached the project, I wanted to keep things really, really simple with the content management system. But I think we've got at least 3 main collections here. We've got resources, which shows up here. We've got content, which shows up here. And then we've got projects, which shows up on this page. And then each one of those has a category system that I want to be able to use for like filtering. And so those are 3 different category collection lists or collections that I'm gonna need to create. And if you're new to Webflow, their content management system, which if you're familiar with WordPress, it's more like the WordPress posts or pages. It's a group of items that use and share the same templates. So Webflow calls those collections. So inside the content management system, you have individual collections, and the collections can basically talk to each other. They can relate to each other. And so in order to have filtering in place the way that I know how to do it, meaning, if someone picks templates, I'd like this collection to basically filter everything out except templates. What I'd like to be able to do is, that filtering. So in order to put that in place, these categories have to be a separate collection. So if we extrapolate that out, we've got the 3 main collections for the 3 main content types, and then we've got 3 collections for the categories that we're going to need to create. Not to mention the categories that we have over here. So the collection for this, the hit list collection, and then the tools collection here. So it's a lot of moving pieces, and sometimes I actually like to go back to pen and paper to put together my collection list or my collection strategy. So that's what we're going to do first. But one of the guys really surprised me. Mean C Design, Lucas. Right on. Well, cool. Awesome. Hey, Tom. Good to see you in the chat. All right. So let's go here. Do video only. And that guy on. There we go. All right. So we've got our sources. Matter of fact, let me try and zoom in so you guys can actually see that. Not much better, but there we go. So we've got our resources, and I'll go ahead and list fields in a second. But we also have content and projects. And then to filter these, we have our categories. And then we've got our hit list collection. And that's just going to be its own thing. I'm not going to try and categorize those. That's what's on our now page. And that's just like the smaller things that I've been into recently. But resources, however, if you notice, let's go to desktop. If you notice right here, tools and gear is a category of resources. And I think I want to add software in this too. Software also shows up on this side. So we've got 2 places where software shows up, and I don't want to have 2 different collections for those. So I think I'm going to combine them under the same collection, resources. So That being said, obviously with this layout, I'm going to need like a software logo, and then a title and a short description. Those are elements that are not used over here, so we'll have to figure out how to manage that. I think we just need to add those fields into the resources collection. So we'll do that. So let's go back to video. Hey, good morning, Rom. Thank you for the follow, Professional Vix. All right, so resources. Obviously, we need a thumbnail image. We need like basically a short description. We're gonna need the icon for software. We're gonna need the category selection. What else do we need? That might be it. Oh, URL. Duh. External. I'm probably not going to write or like have a template for this, so we need to disable search. We don't want those kind of showing up in our sitemap, etc. Okay, resources, thumbnail, short description, icon, category selection, URL. Okay, and then categories, basically have it here, but do courses, templates, downloads, tutorials, setup guides, tools, gear, and then finally software. Okay. Now for content, it's a little tricky. So far, go back to the desktop here. Yeah, I noticed that. Sam, not many people are getting the Twitch notifications right now, and the announcements are a little slow in Discord, so I gotta look into that. All right, so for content, here's kind of a crazy thing. I've got videos, podcasts, and articles under the same collection, and they need to be using the same template. So we're gonna have to kind of mix something up here. The basics for a blog article are title, of course, that's built into everything. Featured image. The actual post. So the post body. That's that rich text field that we were working with last time. We'll put a gallery in there just in case. And then possibly probably some subcategories. And I think that's about it. Normally we'd put like authors in here and relate that field to an author field. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry about that. But since it's just my site, I'm not gonna add that in the mix. I don't expect to have too many guest posters. But we may need some fields for that, because the next thing that I want to do is video. So let's say we had, instead of a featured image, we had a video. Embed. So let's say I pulled in a piece of content from the future and embedded the content that video file from the Futures YouTube channel onto the page, we'd want that to show up instead of the featured image. So we'd need that. And we'd probably want to link out to source, which means we'd need a source title or name. So the source would be the future, and we'd link out to the Futures YouTube channel. Obviously it's a video embed, but let's say somebody liked the content and they were like, man, I want to see more of that. Let's go to their YouTube channel. That would be the link. And then obviously that would need a name. So then the final thing is podcasts. So we'd need a podcast embed. Which would probably be code. And we just embed it right from their source. So simply categories under this one would be videos, articles, podcasts. Now subcategories, that's going to be within the collection. And it'll be things like I talk about branding or my story, or there was one that I talked about like the automation that we're doing at the Future. And the subcategories, I don't expect to be like, I don't want to filter. Like as you can see here, we've got videos, podcasts, and articles as our filters. So it's really content types instead of content categories. So because I don't need to filter them by that, we can just add those subcategories in the back end and have them show up on the blog post page somewhere, or the content page somewhere. Okay. All right, so then we got projects. And this is gonna be a little tricky. Go back to the desktop site. I want some flexibility here. I'm probably not going to be doing a collection-based template for every single project. So you can see here I started a design for Anime Expo, and this talks about, you know, the project and basically building a case study around what we've done for AX. The thing is that like every single case study is going to be different for me, so I don't want to use a template for every single one. So our projects collection, really the only purpose is going to be displaying them in a list here and being able to filter them dynamically. So knowing that, what we're going to do is keep the collection super simple. So we'll have a thumbnail. We'll have a title, obviously, but we'll have our category. And that'll be a reference field. And then we'll have the link to the actual page. And probably like maybe an SEO, like a short description. Just in case we wanted to pull that for some of the alt text or something like that for this image or something, you know. I think that's it. And that'll be our project's collection. And so when the user clicks on this image here, they're actually going to go to the static project page over here. Yep. So yeah, that's the collection strategy. So we'll put that in place before we really start putting these together. All right. Desktop with vid. We'll switch back to this. There we go. Radis, what's your opinion for switching from Mac to PC? You've been thinking about that. Switching from Mac to oh, you know what? Actually, before I was vehemently against it. But I've fallen in love with my PC. But I also cannot use PC for productivity tasks. So the thing is that like when I'm in email or I need to do scheduling or organize files or anything like that, I haven't relied on my PC for that yet. I'm still a Mac man, and the way that Windows like names files and then the Explorer window, it's just not as intuitive for me as Mac. So that's why I've kind of been just switching. But with the setup, everything stays plugged in, and I can just switch my buttons on my mouse, and then switch the monitor input, and I'm back to Mac. Hey, Sachieri, hello. I'm well, very good. Thank you for that. Delicious goat meal. How's it going? I was working on IA, if you can call this IA, but yeah, basically just collection list planning for today's stream. And it's pretty simple. The only tricky thing is really the content page, because we're going to have some sections that are going to get hidden depending on if we have a video in place versus a featured image, etc. Or if the podcast field, that embed field is filled out. So yeah, goat meal, I literally have not seen you in a while. You started your internship. Congrats. Hugo, congrats. Glad to see that the new monitor is working out. Mac is more for production, e.g. music. I don't know. I can do email so much faster, but I'm coming from a place where I've used Macs for a decade before switching over to PCs for basically video gaming and streaming. I do like editing better on my PC, but that's pretty much just because it's faster. Yeah, all about personal preference there. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into it. All right, so keeping this in mind, right? We're going to keep this structure in mind. So if you need to, I don't know if that's valuable for you guys, but this is literally the way that I do things. I plan out my collections just like this. And it helps prevent some redirects, and it helps prevent like things having to be redone later. Because right now I've got instead of having software as a category under resources, I have a software and tools collection set up that the site is using right now. And so I'm gonna have to delete that and then recreate all those items in resources and then relink the collection that we've built on the Now page. So I should have done this first, and that would prevent the work that we're gonna have to do today. That's it. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Get into the back end here. So you can see software and tools right here. I've got Things, SparkMail, Adobe XD, Zoom, and Toby. And that's what we need to change. Oh, I'm almost out of coffee. This is not good. Luckily, we've got seltzer of the day. I am out of the shipment of influencer seltzers that my buddy John sent me. So we're back to Good and Gather. Seltzer of the day is cranberry citrus. There it is. I'm seeing keyboards in Discord, and I really like that. So stoked for you guys to get more into mechanical keyboards. There should be a keyboard build stream this weekend, if I can carve out enough time to be able to solder. So we probably will build the Canone. All right, so right now we've got software and tools set up. That's the collection that we need to delete. We've got resources, we've got content categories, and then resource types. So under resource types, we're going to go ahead and start editing this collection. And this should be pretty simple. All we need is the name, and that's about it. So these are not going to be pages. This is just a list of things that we can use with a multi-reference field. So under resource types, we'll go ahead and add a few of these. Let's do courses. And do templates. Downloads. Tutorials. Setup guides. Tools and gear, and then finally software. So now that we've created this resource type category collection, now we can go into resources and add that reference field. So we just went to resources. Here, let me see if I can zoom in real quick. Okay, this is going to be dastardly for page layout, but we'll go ahead and do this so you guys can see the background backend work, or the Webflow backend. So we've got resources, which is a brand new collection. All I have is a thumbnail in place. So we'll go ahead and add a new field, and we'll make this a multi-reference. So what this does is it says we'll do resource type. It allows us to select a collection, which we're going to select resource types, and we're going to make that required, and we'll save this field. And so if we go to the collection list and add something, let's say we add the perfect proposal, it's going to force us to go in here and pick from that reference, that other collection list that we just made. So there's tutorials, tools and gears, templates, software, etc. And since the perfect proposal is a template, we'll go ahead and select that. And with multi-reference fields, you can select many. So it's kind of a template and a course. So that way, when we filter by courses, the perfect proposal will show up. And that's it. There it is. So obviously we need more under resources, but that's the start of things. So let's go ahead and flesh this out. So we need a short description, so we'll do plain text. And an icon field. And I'm going to put some help text on here for software only. And then finally, we'll do a link. External link. And then just to remind myself, as I'm adding content to the website, I'm going to just say use affiliate link when possible. And that way, you know, if you guys order a Webflow subscription or something through my affiliate link, which I just set up, so it's not in the chat yet. You know, you can buy me a cup of coffee every once in a while, some celts. Okay, so let's see. I think that's about it. Thumbnail, short description, icon, category selection, and URL. Now, the only required field that I have here is multi-reference. And I think that I'm just going to put this multi-line and then make this short description required, because that's going to need to show up on pretty much everything. If you make the thumbnail a required field, even for software where we're not putting, you know, a full width thumbnail in that collection, in that list, you're going to have to create a thumbnail for it every single time to add new software to the mix. So we don't want to make that required. And I think that's about it for references. Yep. All right, so then we have our software and tools. This is the thing that we need to delete. Hey, what's up, A? Hello, hello. Just landed. What I miss? We are working with Webflow collections right now. Just basically set up all of the requirements, and we're kind of moving through this IA, maybe information architecture. So I've got items in this collection, which I'm bummed because I don't think that you can move things between collection, which kind of sucks. So we'll just basically recreate these in resources as software. Okay, so I'm moving kind of everything over here so I can access these icons. So we'll go Adobe XD. Pull the thumbnail in. Resource type, this is going to be software. And we'll just do ASDF. And so on. This is where in a YouTube video we zoom through a time lapse. Uh-oh. Did we freeze? What happened? Yes, save changes, please. Okay, and then finally, things for Mac. There's no finished version that's already in the oven. We'd let that sit for a couple hours. No magic of TV here. We're going through this together. There we go. And I think that was it, right? Just the 4. Okay. So we'll go over here to software and tools. I guess we have Toby. Oh, we just duplicated that. Okay. Yeah, and I'm just going through, so you can see Adobe XD, we messed up here. We put the icon in the thumbnail field, so we'll fix that. Save. Okay. So if we scroll down, we've got this collection list, and it's connected to our tools and software collection, which we're going to delete. So I'm just going to switch that. Oh, I can't. I gotta break all these first. So we'll do this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And the easy way to tell if you've broken everything is if nothing is purple. Okay. Let's see. There we go, image. All right, so then now the lock has disappeared out of this, and we'll just change this to resources. Okay. And then we don't want all the resources to show, right? Because let's do this. Let's go ahead and set it up as if everything were showing. So we've got icon and alt text. We'll do the name, heading 6, get text from resources, and name. short description. I think though, oh, link, do this, external link. Okay. So what's concerning me right now is that the text is actually not pulling dynamically from the thing, which is really strange. We need to refresh. You do the same thing with your images, just save everything to the desktop. Well, I use the desktop as kind of like temporary storage, and then I save everything in folders afterwards. Okay, there we go. So we just had to refresh. So you can see now that we're pulling from the right collection, and let's see if we can do some sideways scroll here. Nope. I'm going to sort this collection so you guys can see that right now we're pulling from the entire thing. So created on oldest to newest and save. So what you can see here is we're displaying the perfect proposal. We don't want that. We want to filter everything out by just software. So we'll just select the collection. We'll get rid of that filter in a minute, but we'll add this filter that says if we only want the resource type setting containing software, and save. And what that does is it only displays things that has been categorized as software on our collection list. Super simple, but you know, this is something that's really tough to do in other platforms. And you can see that the perfect proposal, which is not software, was removed from the collection list. And we'll just get rid of this. Actually, we'll probably just change this to newest to oldest, the sort order, and that's it. So now we should be able to delete that software and tools collection, which we'll need to delete each item out of here first. So anybody got any questions about that? For most Webflow users, that's kind of a basic thing, but I know when I was just first kind of starting, that stuff blew my mind. I was like, man, this is great, because this, you know, coming from WordPress is not something that was very intuitive. All right, so we just deleted that collection. Mighty Mad Cow, thank you for the follow. All right, so then we've got our hit list items, and again, that's what show up here, and that's just going to be kind of its own thing. It's not going to link to anything else. It's not going to be something that shows up in any other collection, so I'm fine with just having that be itself. Let's see. Then we've got content and content categories. All right, so content categories, this is kind of a leftover from the previous site. So I'm actually going to get rid of all these categories because we don't need them. This item can't be deleted because it's being referenced in the following collection items. Okay, so we'll go over to content and I'm going to get rid of all those. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, just to future-proof this, I think I'm going to keep that content categories as its own collection, and then just add a new CMS collection that is content types. So we'll add videos, articles, and podcasts. And then under content, we'll need to add that as a reference. So basically, you know, I had this listed in my page, or in my paper, as subcategories. So you can see here, right there, subcategories. And then the main categories was really about the content type, videos, articles, and podcasts. And what I made the kind of a split second decision there. Instead of keeping this as a selection field inside the categories, I just went ahead and kept the content as a separate collection. That way, in the future, if I wanted to add filtering based on content category versus type, it's all there and I don't have to make any changes. So yeah, working autofocus today. Yeah, thank God. Woo. Stan Fan, hello. I am very well, thank you. Yeah, music comes from Epidemic Sound. It's a highly curated playlist. All right, so right now we're in the back end of our content collection and we need to adjust this. So featured image, this is good. We want to keep this, and I actually like to kind of move that up towards the top. Then we've got categories, which is our multi-reference field for the content categories that we just created. This is not going to be required though, so I'm going to change that, remove that. And then we need to add a multi-reference field. Actually, it probably should just be reference because I don't think that something can be a video and a podcast all in one. So we'll do content type. And select that. And this field is definitely going to be required. So we'll pull that up here. All right, so the post hook, this really was like the short description. So I'm just gonna do short description. And then I'm gonna use I think I'm gonna get rid of this SEO meta description because we'll just use, oh, I see, okay. Then let's get rid of this. Actually, maybe we can make this a leading heading. And I'll show you why I want to do this in a second. Okay, so we've got leading heading, then we've got body above the gallery. We're going to remove the below the gallery because I don't use that anymore. And related posts. So this is something I'm probably just going to get rid of and allow the system to manage that for me. Okay, so going back to our list, we need featured image, we need the post body, which we have here, and we'll just rename this. Hey, Vira. Oh, meeting time. Goat meal, enjoy. Have fun. All right, so then we've got our gallery, which we can add that here. Multi-image. Now, this is not going to be a required field. I don't know that we're even going to use it, but just in case, it's there. Subcategories, we've got video embed. All right, so this is going to go here. Do video link. I'm going to move this up under featured image. Okay. All right, so the last thing that I have on my list is a podcast embed, which basically needs to be custom code. And I'm not really sure how to do this, because what I was hoping to find is a code block in here, just an area where we could push code. But I think that what we need to do, actually, let's try something. Real quick. Let's just add some plain text and make it multi-line and call it podcast embed code, and then save that. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try it. And then that's it. Taking a look at my list here: featured image, post body, gallery, subcategories, video embed, link out to source. So we'll do external link here. Source. And then just external source. Just in case. Okay. And then the source title name, which we just did, and the podcast embed. Okay. I think we're good. All right, so the first thing that I added in our content collection was this leading heading. And I'm going to show you why this is probably really, really important. So this would live right here. So breaking down customer groups by demographics, certainly is a bad idea, but is it a good one? So it sounds like a short description or some kind of like hook. What's this error? Content type articles. Okay. So I'll show you why I added that leading heading. And we'll go over to our content template. Now notice that this lines up perfectly. The meta text with the date here lines up with the paragraph. And if we go to fear, same thing. Meta text lines up perfectly to the paragraph text. But if we go with, I think it was my year of saying yes. Nope. Making the leap. No, tribes. Here we go. So if we go here, I've basically started the article with a H2, the heading 2. And you'll notice that the meta text here doesn't line up with this. And it's because I had to add margin on the top of this heading. Now, what I could do is just figure some other way to style my headings, but that just, it feels like it's not as elegant to me. So what I'm actually going to add another block of text here, which will be probably an H3 or an H2, and it'll contain that leading heading. So that way, no matter what kind of content I put in the rich text, I'll always have that alignment at the top. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. So we'll go heading, and we'll set that to probably H3. Yeah, we'll see. And we'll set that to get the text from the content leading heading field. And there we go. So with this meta text, you can see it's decently in line, but it needs just a little bit of padding or a little bit of margin on the top to kind of bring it in line with the top of this B. And I believe we already have that set up. Oh, that was small. think that's pretty much all we need. We'll just style that with the combo class here. There we go. So that brings it down to a reasonable space. Now, every single post, if it has that, field filled out, will have that text in there, and it'll stay aligned no matter what, no matter what's below here. There it is. So I'll probably add some margin. Don't really want to add it to this heading 3 because we're just using the default styling there. So we'll add it to this rich text block on the top. So we'll do maybe 2em, maybe 3. And then we'll check it on a couple of other things. Yeah. There we go. So we solved our alignment problem. And if we go to tribes or demographics, the only thing that I probably don't want to start off the post with an H2. Probably want to pull it, rewrite this to have some paragraphs above this H2. And to be honest, this doesn't even really matter. This heading doesn't, I can just delete it. It'll be fine. And that way we have a good kind of vertical cadence where we go nice heading 3 and then get right into the copy. So we'll just go ahead and do that here. Boom. Okay, there it is. All right, so that adds the leading heading in front of the post, which is nice. But now we've got to figure out the video embed. So that's the problem that I'm going to solve next. So let's say we had, let's go to thefuture.com. Let's see. Go to videos and we'll sort by most popular and see how many feature ya boy. All right, so the top 5 are all Chris. Totally get that. But then look at this. Bam! Building a brand. Who's that dude? We'll go ahead and pull that in. Shameless plug. That's right. I may not have a lot of videos on there, but the ones that I do have on there, they perform well. So how to present designs to clients. Well, what do we have authored? That's kind of strange. Originally posted on December 19th, 2017. Wow. That was a while ago. Tim Saunders, thank you for the follow. All right, so then we have our video embed. There's the URL. So the video shows up here. Content type is going to be a video. Content category. We don't have one of those yet, so we'll just leave that. And let's do this here. Pull this copy from there. Paste it on our leading heading. And I think I'm actually going to write a full post about this. I have the script somewhere. So we'll just add that to the body. Call it a day. Okay. All right, so we'll create that. So when we go back to our content template, let's see, it's right here. How to present logo designs to clients. And you see we haven't set a featured image, and so it's not showing up. I'm actually going to shorten that title too. how to present logo designs. There we go. So there's an issue here. There's no featured image, and this is a video, and so we need to add a video field. So that's what we're going to solve. All right, we got our section here that contains our heading, like our featured image, but obviously we don't have that in place. So go ahead and add another div, and then we'll add a video embed. Embed here. All right, so what I'm expecting is so what I expected to see is to be able to dynamically connect the YouTube video to our video embed, but I don't think that's going to work. So let me delete this. We'll add a video embed here. And then get video from content, video embed. There it is. Boom. And it's that easy. So we'll go ahead and preview this. Hit play. And we're there. Okay, but what happens when we go over to, let's say, tribes and demographics? Nothing. The point that I was making, we're trying to, let's say we had our video embed. Maybe that's a leftover thing, or maybe that's a, just a mistake on my part. If we're on this tribes or demographic and the video embed is filled out, and then also the featured image is filled out, there's an issue here, right? Because you don't want to see both of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the div block with the video only visible if the content is categorized as a video. So we'll just come over here. And under conditional visibility, we're going to add a condition. Element is visible when the content type equals videos. And that's it. So now on all of our articles, if we don't have a video embed, then it's not going to show up. And we'll do the same thing on our featured image here. And we'll do this. So element is only visible when content type, I'm going to do something interesting here, does not equal. I was hoping to select all of the above because I kind of want it on podcast. No, it's okay. That's okay. We'll do equals articles. There we go. And so just to prove our point, let's go back to how to present logo designs, and then we'll add a featured image here. There it is. We'll save it and then go to that post. And you can see, even though this post does have a featured image, it's not showing up on the page because of that conditional visibility. Khalil, hello. Welcome. Ronitraj. Well, thank you for the follow. And Pre-Ray, appreciate the follow. You got a mild headache, eh? Oh man, I had a beast of one yesterday. I was a little concerned. All right, so then we got related content, and we are good to go. All right, so what we just did was we fleshed out the content collection. We added some fields here, including a category, content list or collection, and and then a content type. And then we made the featured image / video block conditionally visible depending on the content type. So now we get into podcasting. And ideally, we would have a player that looks the same across the entire site. But the thing is that I show up on, many different people's podcasts, and they're all going to have different embed codes. So what I want to do is add a HTML embed. We'll make this under its own div real quick. So we'll add a div here. And this HTML embed is going to contain the podcast code. All right, so what I need to do is find out what our embed code is. Maybe I can just go to SoundCloud. Yeah, this is a song that I was listening to the other day. So let's see if we can embed this. Great song, by the way. So let's say share, and we'll do embed, and we'll copy this. And what I'm going to do is add, sample podcast. Zero one 1900. Content type is going to be podcasts. And then we've got our podcast embed code here. Now, what I'm using here is just plain text. So I'm gonna paste this in here, and we'll see if we can pull that plain text into an HTML embed. Don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll see. So in our HTML embed, we can add from a field, and we'll do the podcast embed code, save and close. All right, so I think we're gonna need to publish this. See if this works. Did it work? Oh, you know why? We're not on the right page. We'll go over to sample podcast. Ah, see, bummer. That's not what we wanted. DMCA incoming. Yeah. Tim Saunders, first time on Twitch. Nice. Welcome. You'll find the community is amazing here. All right, so we got an issue. So it took the plain text and it inserted it into the HTML embed as just text. So that sucks. The way that I've done this on the Futures website is we have this player from our host, our podcast host, Megaphone, and basically it's a embed, and we put the wrapper in the actual embed. So the iframe text and all the Megaphone jargon inside the embed as plain text, but the dynamic content is literally the episode ID, and so the system will switch episodes based on that one episode ID that we enter into the collection field. So if we go down here, you can see the player is the same. The problem with that is that if I'm bringing in all of the podcasts that I've done all over the, the internet. Everybody's going to have a different player. So I'm thinking I need to just find maybe the most common player. I don't know. There's one other idea that I have. Let's try this real quick. So if we go to our CMS, bring up the sample podcast thing. Let's go ahead and take off the opening iframe tag. And then add it here. See if that actually works. It surely did not. Oh, I see. Okay. So I need to add a space. Let's try that. Hey, King. Good morning. Marble Wraith. Thanks for the follow. $404. What? Let's take a look at that embed code one more time. URL, iframe ends here, so we'll just go ahead and remove the div. Maybe add the closing tag here. Live stuff always works. I'll show you guys how this has worked in the past. Followed the flow you set up for case studies. Don't think you nailed it out of the park yet, though. Well, hey, send one in. Jump in Discord and send one in, and I'll take a look. We'll probably start doing critiques again once we get most of the site developed. All right. What was I gonna say? Let's do share embed. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so just the basic share works. Let's see. I'm wondering if we get rid of this. div, what it'll look like. Okay, so that's still fine. Hey, game. Good to see you. All right, so I'm wondering if we can just replace this source. So you can see here, allow autoplay source. Goes all the way to here. Copy this. And then add the field podcast embed code, save and close. Oops. We'll add that. Okay, so that works. The thing is that is only for SoundCloud. So I'm gonna have to figure this out. What is do you guys know of a podcast player that is more universal? Like, is there an Apple podcast embed code? Oh, do more. Okay. Justin, right? All right, let's see. Yeah, good to see you, man. All right. Embed code copied. All right, let's see this here. Whoops. That side scroll in Chrome is getting me. All right, so then we can copy this, remove it, and then add it dynamically in. I mean, most podcasts are on Apple, right? Let's see how this looks. Oh, the Apple embed code worked for a SoundCloud URL. Oh, that's interesting. Or Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast. The thing is that I need one embed. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that works nicely. So, let's see. I can change the code here to, oops. Width, 100%, max width, 660 pixels. Well, we just don't put a max width there, right? It's not the greatest, but it works. So let's see if we probably change the height on this too. Maybe? Am I pushing it? Yeah, I was way pushing it there. Do 220. Okay. So let's go back to, matter of fact, let's find a Google one. So the future podcast, Google Play. Is that what it is? I am working in Webflow right now. So SoundCloud. It's probably on our website. Go to an individual show. Apple Podcast. We'll do Spotify. How about that? Share, copy embed code. Okay. So go over here to sample podcast, paste the embed code in, and we'll just remove all of the garbage around here and just keep the source URL and see how that looks. So we're using the Apple embed wrapper. So I'll prefer to go that route, but it works with SoundCloud. Let's see if it works with Spotify. It sure does. Ooh, and that looks better too. I have to go with Spotify. All right, so the other thing that I'm noticing here is it's probably too wide. So we'll go ahead and reduce that down a little bit. Go 4 column, add that in there. Okay, and then we'll do the conditional visibility on this one. So when our content type equals podcast, this will be visible. And then under this 5 column, we'll just do when our content type is not podcasts, then the rest of that will show up, whether it's a video or content header. All right. Let's see. So, wondering if we can just remove the height. There we go. And then under content container, okay, cool. Oh, there's a little scroll thing here, so we'll probably want to make that a little bit larger. There we go. Okay, that'll work. The spacing is not ideal. Which I'm wondering if we can just work in sections instead of containers here. I think that's probably the best call. Here. Okay, what was the keyboard shortcut again? I gotta start using that. Command K. Yep. Div. And then Command Enter. And content container. So I'm gonna remove the conditional visibility on this div and set it on the entire section. Same thing with this. Move it here and put it on the section. So that way we're not messing with some extra spacing in there, and we can control how that looks a little bit better. Content type equals podcasts. Wait, does not equal? There we go. And in this one, we can just add a combo class where it says margin bottom small. And we can reduce this down to 2, for example, maybe 3. There we go. And just grab some lorem ipsum here so we can see how it looks with the text. There we go. That looks good. Woo, okay. So, here's what we did here. Here's the recap. We brought in an iframe from Apple Podcasts, and then we're using the content management system, a field within this collection called podcast embed code. We'll actually change that to embed source. And under our sample podcast item here, we basically just added the URL of the embed. And what that does is in our custom HTML block here, we've got our iframe code here, and then we just swap out the embed source. And this pulls dynamically from the collection. So it doesn't matter. We tested it with SoundCloud, we tested it with Apple, and then we tested it with Spotify, and all work, which is great. That's that. Poison Ivy, thank you for the follow. Be sure to say hello. Ooh, hey, I love that. The fonts short code. Nice. Great. I'll take a look at the Discord. Okay, so obviously we'll want to add a featured image to every single piece of content. So we'll just do this here so that it shows up in these. Oh, look at this. We need to change this. We need to make this get text from content type name. And there we go. Publish this. We'll do an SEO pass when we're kind of wrapping up, but this is super handy in Webflow where we've got a missing alt text notification. So related content image, that's this right here. So we can actually go in and set that, get alt text from post title, and that issue goes away. What is this? Skipped heading level. So we went right from H1 to H3. Let's see where that is. This is here. So that's pretty simple to change. We basically just change this to an H2. And then I think when we update this, the styling will change. There's something weird going on with the designer today. Yeah, see, there's the styling change. And we could just add a class. So we'll just do heading 3 or not. All right, so we need to, let's go ahead and add this. We'll go over to H3 and we'll duplicate the styling. Go 3, create it. So 2.5 EMs and then 1.08. Just do 0.2 EMs. Delete that. Okay, so that's classified as an H2, but we're styling it as an H3 just to make sure that we're not overwhelming your eyes. Game on Air, appreciate the follow. Welcome. Hey, thank you for joining as always. Appreciate it. We'll probably see you later. Yeah. Okay, so I think we've kind of wrapped up the content page. We still need to get this slider functional, but I think I'm going to do all the sliders all at once, and we've got several, so we'll wait on that. One thing I'm noticing here is that the meta text, like the category, is all plural. So I'm going to change that in our content types. We'll just reduce or remove the S. Podcast, article, and videos. There it is, podcast. Cool. So related podcasts, let's see, we'll probably add a little bit here. There we go. Okay. So now we've got sample podcasts, sample videos, and sample articles in here, and they all look pretty good. Here's the video. Here's an article with no image. And here's an article with an image. So all the headings are squared away, all the different content types are created, and now we just need to fill it up. Fill it with content, which I can do at night. I won't make you guys watch me copy and paste a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so that concludes content template page for now. Now we can move on to the content list page. We'll do resources next. All right, so we need to create a large header. We need to pull our most recent post in, and then create a content list that's filterable. Okay, so before I go on, any questions, or did you guys like identify anything that I really messed up on? Let me know. Like, it was great last stream. Timothy Ricks actually jumped in the chat and was kind of feeding me some code. We were trying to customize the way that the blog post images inside rich text fields look, which was super niche. It was super detailed and involved some crazy custom code. But I mean, he's an influencer. He's a great person to follow on YouTube. So definitely look up Tricks. But it was fantastic for me because I was able to learn from somebody in the audience. So if you guys notice anything, just let me know. Rom's just silently learning. Beautiful. Oh, you like the podcast embed trick? Yeah. It can get super gnarly when you're working with outside content, but it's a good thing. All right. So let's go for content. Hugo needs a personal pocket T-Rex. Yeah. No, he's great, man. He's just a great guy too. Like, I've talked to him offline, and just a really well-centered person. Quality human there. What's the end goal of the project you're working on? I'm redeveloping my personal site. So if you take a look at mrbenburns.com, that's where we're really revamping. I believe he is, yeah. Yep. Yeah, he jumped in the stream chat. All right, so because the header of the content page looks a lot like the now page, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this whole page wrapper into a new content page. What's the reason for the redesign? Go check out the site. So here, I can do that on stream. So it's a little bit less of like a full redesign because I'm using a lot of the same stuff. But it's more just like making sure I'm following principles. Like, I built the site 3 years ago and it's just broken. So it looks fine on this page, but as soon as you like open the menu, it's kind of janky, and then we go to blog, and then all of a sudden the menu's broken here. So it's a subtle redesign, but then also just a complete functionality overhaul. This is also kind of meta because Webflow is sponsoring the full like edited series. I'm not sharing my screen. Dang it! You know how many times I've done that? Here, I'll pull up the full site. Bedburns.com. Yeah. All right. So, you know, I was using VW units for text because there wasn't guidance on how to truly make responsive text back in 2017. So obviously this is kind of broken. And then as we scale the site down and up, you can see like all of a sudden this text is way too small. It's got some cool effects on it, but you know, it's just basically like a whole bunch of experiments that don't really go together. The menu's a little weird. Go to blog, this is kind of broken. The blog post page was the most recent that I had designed. I think I redesigned this maybe a year ago, a year and a half. And it was really to experiment with this page color change, like the background color. So that's kind of cool. Like it's not terrible, but it's just not cohesive and it's not indicative of, you know, the skill level that I feel like I have. And it was just time for a redesign. I had a question. That left sidebar with the logo and the night mode toggle, did you already explain that in some of these streams? Kind of, yeah. It's basically the menus here. This is just for decoration. And then the night mode, obviously this is the dark mode. I'll show you this here. So we've got, let's see, where did I find this? Here's the correct switch for the light mode. So obviously this is on, and then when you click it, it'll animate to our night mode switch. So honestly, that's the, like, as far as usability and stuff, it's nice to have a dark mode, but it's really just a flex. Total flex. Kind of want to split test that with an end of post CTA to see if it would convert higher. Yeah, it could. Yeah. Oh, you did. Tim Saunders, post your site in the chat. Take a look. All right. I will be right back, guys. I'm going to take a quick bio break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll work on that content list page. Be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you for not going completely brutalist. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get those sites. Yeah. Really like the creative direction. Nice. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at Tim's site. This is kind of cool. Let's go to desktop with vid. Ooh, look at all that fancy stuff. So fancy. I like the texture over the live type. It's pretty creative. Wanna play with some assets? Dude, what? What? Why are you so fancy, dude? I'm gonna be doing some of this stuff on the site. That is super cool. Fancy a chat. But what I was really here for is the light mode, dark mode. Ooh, look at that. So nice. Oh, that's fancy. Cool. Very cool. That menu is super trippy though. Yeah, that's really neat, dude. Nicely done. I love the mouse cursor takeover. Wait, what is that? Well, I guess as you go away from this thing, that's kind of cool. You are definitely a texture nerd, that's for sure. Neat. Really cool. Spotlight cursor. Very, very cool. Good job, dude. Okay. Content. All right, so let's take a look at this page in XD. All right, so we've got our featured post here, which is the most recent. So that needs to be a collection list. And then we've got this collection list down here. So we need two collection lists on the page. One that just pulls one item from the content collection, and then the rest is all everything else. And we go to projects. Okay. All right, so this is a nice vibe. Yeah, appreciate it. So, oh, you were the, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did buy some of your dirty marker assets. That's great. Yeah, I'm planning on using those on the site. Maybe some hover effects or something like that. That's really cool. You guys, if you want the texture stuff, head to Tim Saunders' site. Nicely done. Just a thought. What if David Carson designed websites? Yeah. I think he's got a masterclass out now. I think his class is live on Masterclass. I'm definitely going to be spending my weekend with that. All right, so instead of just deleting everything, because we pasted the now page into this content page. So instead of going through and just deleting all the sections, I'm actually going to use some of the styling. So we've got a really, really basic div block and an image inside this 5-column column, I guess, five column span, something. So I'm just going to add our collection list inside that 5-column span. And then in here, we will make this. I guess we can go pull this entire thing into our Oh, got to connect it. Connect that to content so you can see all of these things are here. And then pull the div block that contains our featured image in here. And obviously it's pulling this image for each item. So we'll go ahead and make this dynamic. Get image from content, we'll do the featured image. Cool, set the alt text to the post title. There we go. Now with this, we only want the most recent. So we're gonna go in here to collection settings and we're gonna limit item and we're gonna only show one. And our sort order is going to be created on newest to oldest. Okay, that's it. We're not gonna paginate. So we basically reduced it to one single thing. And we'll go ahead and start adding some more stuff to this. So if we go back over here, you see we've got a 5-column layout and then we've got another content container here that has columns. We've got a 1-column for our meta, a 2-column for our heading, date, and category, and then another 2-column layout. I'm pulling columns, as you can see. If I turn on my grid, this is the way that I've organized it for our description and then the CTA. So I think what we'll do is actually pull the collection list into a section and then put the content container inside the collection item through our div block inside this 5-column layout there. And what that will be, what that will allow us to do is that div? Oh, there we go. Create another content container here. So we can easily create our columns. 1 call. Two column. There we go. So inside this 1 column, we're going to add some meta text. So we'll just add a text block here. Or what did I write? Yeah, recent post. And we'll style this meta. Same thing under 2 columns. So now we're going to want to add some margin here. So let's see if we've got a container that has a combo class. So we've got margin bottom large, medium, or small. So let's try medium. Probably too large, so we'll go with small. There we go. So by using combo classes like this, and I don't know if I'm using them correctly, but in my mind, I will only have 3 different margins that I want on the bottom of things. And so instead of saying margin bottom 80, 100, 120, and referencing the number of pixels or EMs that I'm using, I limit myself to 3 options, and it makes the rest of the site consistent. So again, personal opinion, I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I kind of approach things. So we'll add a heading here. Probably make this a heading 2, get text from content, and do the post title. Franz. What is HU? I think you meant FU. And then, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so then we've got, let's see, This is 90, which I believe is, yeah, it's our heading 2. Then we've got our date, and then a little pipe and category. Whoops, don't want a text link. So we've got originally posted, published on. So we'll do this. Flex, horizontal. We'll just add our text blocks here. So I like to format the date a little bit differently. It's not in Webflow as a default, so I just pull each individual item here. So we've got the month, the day, space, pipe, space. We'll format that in a second. Then year. So I'm going to make a combo class here of categories because we need to add some margin on one side of this. So we'll just do maybe 0.3 EM. Maybe 0.2. We can just meta categories. All right. We need paragraphs there. I think that was it. I just think it's probably empty in this thing. So what I'm going to do is switch the, just so we can see it with content in, I'm going to go oldest to newest. And that should, oh. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and add that text into the podcast. How to calculate the size of the grid gutters. There's a bunch of different ways that you could do that. There's specific ratios. I'm trying to remember what the ratio was in the grid systems book by, oh my God, I'm spacing on that dude's name. There's specific ratios, but honestly, like, I just like to eyeball it. And so when I created this grid, you can see that my margins on the outside, 60 pixels on the right, 180 pixels to make room for that nav bar, and then I have a 20 pixel gutter width. And that was just eyeballed. You know, it's not a specific formula. I don't think that there's a true right way to do it, but there are aesthetic proportions. Like, you can use the golden ratio. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, but for me, just go with the gut. Or refresh. Ooh, there's 2 Hugos in the chat. I think we need to do like a Highlander situation here. There can only be one. Do like a design off. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Moosey. A design off, and whoever wins gets to keep the name. And whoever loses has to change their name. Huh? Yeah? Let's do post wrapper, description wrapper. Here we go. Okay, and then we need a button. So we've got buttons saved in our symbols, right? Text link, yeah. Whoops. Oh boy. I think it's like Command A, or yeah, Shift Control A to break it away from the symbol. So we'll do right under paragraph. There we go. Because we've got a couple of different options here. We've got articles, videos, and content. So we'll do some conditional visibility here. Watch the video, read the article, and listen to the podcast. And we'll hide these depending. So element is visible when our content type is video. Same thing with our read the article, content type equals article. And then this would be podcast. There we go. That way, this link has the right copy in it at all times. Okay, then we've got a text link block, and we'll make this link dynamic, collection page, and that's the current content. There we go. We also probably want to wrap our heading in a link. So we'll go, okay, add a div, actually, be a link block. Throw our heading in that. And the same thing here. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to add a class here, which will be featured image container. I think we're going to do some animation on that, but not today. All right, so let's go back to our XD doc. You can see we're just about there on this section. We need to add this tag here. Okay. So this is usually pretty simple. We'll go into our 5 column. We'll add another div. And this is going to be, we'll do a featured tag container. We're going to change this to absolute positioning. And our columns should be all relative. Okay. Oops. So we'll move it down a little bit. Go ahead and add some background color. Then we'll add a text block inside. Okay. I kind of want that to be a little bit closer. So what we'll do is, instead of adding a white combo class to that, we'll just go ahead and make this specific and go featured tag. Then we'll change it to white here, and then we'll also change this padding to 0 and rely on the padding of the container 1 EM so that we know that it's centered. There we go. And we'll pull it outside of the box here just a little bit. Move it just a little bit up. Change these to EMs so that we have good control of this responsively. There we go. Tim, thanks for coming, and appreciate all the great resources. Hugo, also thanks for joining. Logo presentation time. There can only be one, exactly. All right, so then now we need to add this box shadow, and I believe we're gonna add this in red. Actually just going to make that just a little bit darker. Okay. No distance. That there. And then blur it out just a little bit. And turn our opacity way down. By the way, good luck on your logo presentation. Best of luck. So it's 3 EM. There we go. I just wanted to add a little bit more space in between that, because we've got that giant orange tag there. So we drop that down to 0.9 and 0.6. Gonna miss. All right. Okay. Whoop whoop. It's the small things, right? Okay. Oh. Sometimes you just get in the zone, right? And you're just jamming on something. And that's how I felt on this. Okay, so next up, we need to go with our collection list here, where we've got videos, podcasts, and articles as our filters. We've got an H2 or an H1 actually here. And then we've got our collection list, which is kind of a grid of a 2-column grid. Okay, so don't need that. Let's see, content container here. We don't need that. We certainly don't need that or that. Get rid of that one column. Then we'll pull our header from here. And we're just cleaning up the rest. Okay. So then in our footer symbol, I think we had this going to projects. So over here, a footer next link, we'll choose that later. The text is going to be projects. There we go. Okay. And here we've got our one column for the filtering system. So we'll add a collection list in here. All right, so this is where we're going to loop in a plugin. Probably won't do that today, but we basically want to display all of the content categories. Nope, content types in a list. And we'll go ahead and add our items to this list. So we'll do text. Well, actually, we'll do a link block first. And then text block. Style that as meta. And we'll pull that text from content types and we'll just do the name. So there's our link. Okay, so then just to make sure, we'll style our link block. We'll do filter list link block. Do 100% width. And I'll just put a margin bottom of this of like 1 EM. Go. Maybe a little smaller. All right, and that's pretty much it. Yurivam, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So we'll go here. We need to add one more collection list. So we've got this collection list which links to our content types. Then we want to display the content in a grid on the other side. So we'll just add that collection list here. Connect it to our content. And then start adding in items. Link block. See, we'll link it to the actual item. Add a container for the image. Also add the image. Here's our featured image. Okay. Pull the alt text from the post title. Oops. Not ready to style that div just yet. Sort that out. All right, so what we've done here is we've pulled in all of our content. Look, these have no featured image. We'll fix that in a second. So now that what we need to do is we need to style our collection item so that we're working with a specific width, and then style our list so that we have that grid. Now I'm not gonna put it in CSS grid because I don't prefer to use that. I like Flexbox way better. So we'll go ahead and start naming these things and you'll see how easy it is to work with Flexbox. So on our item, we'll name these kind of collection items grid, display, item. And grid display list. So our grid display list will be flex, and the children will wrap. And we're going to make this horizontal and justify left, so that's all good. So our grid display item, the width is going to be 50% of the available space. And we're going to add some padding on either side, which equals our column padding. So you can see here we've got a 4 column and that has 1.04 EMs on either side. Now the tricky thing is, so that way it displays correctly. Let's see. 1.04 EM. No, it does not. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a combo class that gets rid of this. No padding. Then we can re-add the padding inside of our collection list. So then we do 1.04 EM, hold Option, hit Enter. Oh, I didn't do it. 1.04 EM. There we go. So now each item is matching up to the rest of the grid because we added the padding inside the item, and it just simply wraps. So it should scale down with each, as we move this or change this browser width. But the nice thing is that when we move to mobile, obviously we're not going to want to have 2 columns in here, and so the solution is really just to take our item, and instead of a 50% width, we'll make it 100% width, and that's it. And then they wrap accordingly. So again, that's the way I like to do things, but I'm totally not sure if that's the correct way. Right, so then we've got our link block, we've got our image wrapper, so grid, display, image wrapper. Then over here on our link block, we'll add a margin on the bottom. There we go. Very nice. And we'll go over here and just add some featured images there. You like grids better, Franz? Makes sense. There we go. So now everything has a featured image. This one needs a tag, so we'll add that as well. Yeah. Then the other thing, there's a difference in image height, so we'll tackle that in 1 second. So we'll add some styling to this image, and we'll set this to cover and add a width of 100%, a height of 100%. There we go. So now all of the images are the same size, regardless of what the actual aspect ratio is. And I think that's it. We'll add the filtering at a later date. With the plugin, it's super simple to use. But I gotta purchase that and stuff, so I'll get that prepped for probably next stream. The other thing is we'll probably want to add just a little bit more bottom margin to this. There we go. Man, we're already at 120. Okay. No matter a good way. Yeah, okay, so you like the you like grids. I kind of like Flex for responsiveness because if you'll notice on, let's do thefuture.com/shop. So we used grid on this. You can see we need to fix our responsive type and our headers too. But we use grid on this, and it's the strangest things because at a specific size, which shouldn't happen, right? Because we're still working with plenty of room. The grid stacks, you know, it changes, which this is a pretty common aspect ratio, and there's plenty of room for another card here. Margins are all set, like all systems are go, and it should work just fine. But it doesn't. So that's part of the reason why, just those weird things in CSS Grid that I've noticed that prevent me from using that. Working on a client's project right now. Still don't know if I'd be brave enough to work with wizardry and EMs. Try it. Try it. Maybe not on a client project for the first time, but try it on your own thing. All right, so we've got content done. Now we can move on to resources, I think. And I think I actually started that page. Yeah. Yep. All right. Does it affect a website's speed? I don't believe it does. People who know better than I can definitely correct me, but I do not believe it affects speed whatsoever. Wait a minute, what did I do here? Yeah. So that would be, okay. Let's revisit our resources page. So we've got a slider here with a featured tag. And then we've got some big text, a CTA for a book list, which kind of happens outside of our grid. And then we've got the same basic grid as we had over here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually pull what we've done over on content into here. And then to switch this up, all we really need to do is change which content we're pulling from. So we'll just break all these. And change that to resource type. And then relink the text. That's it. Same thing with this. So we'll break all of our purple items that are pulling dynamically from the collection. Change the source to resources, and relink everything. So we don't have a field that relates our resources back to our resource type. So I'll go ahead and make sure that happens. So we'll set this to name, and we'll add that field under resources. So we'll add a multi-reference field here. This will be resource. Oh no, it's right there. Resource type. Oh, you know why? It's probably because it's a multi-reference field. So when there's a multi-reference field, you actually have to add a collection list inside of your collection list and have it display one or two or more of the multi-reference. So I don't think that something is going to be both. Maybe. Let's just go ahead and do that. So we'll add a collection list inside here. Oh, hold up. It can't be placed in a link. We'll have this set to limit items to 1. And then inside of our item, we'll add our meta text. And we'll have this dynamically pulled from the resource type. There we go. So what we just did there is we had a collection list that displays all these things in a grid. And then we had another collection list that's going to display the related type, because these things can be more than one thing. We'll just display one at a time. But because we used a multi-reference field inside the collection, we needed that list to display all of them. Okay. So I think that's about good there. And just so we can see how our grid looks and make sure this is really good, go ahead and add our thumbnails to these. Boy, when that jazz comes in, it chills the vibe. Almost too much. We'll just save this as a draft. There we go. Okay, so now we've all got thumbnails and the grid looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Is this the block? Oh, I see. I see. So it's being pushed out by our padding here. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll actually probably want to add a link block around the heading too, around the title. That way if somebody clicks on the title, they actually go to the right resource. There we go. It's a little better. Add some margin there. There's the book list. And that's about it. Oh, duh. The recent resource. I think that was actually recent content instead of resources. Let's take a look at the XD doc here. Yeah, so I wanted to surface content on that page. So that's where this kind of gallery came from. So we'll go ahead and do that. So because that's featured, what we want to do is add a featured field into our content. So we'll do a switch and we'll say feature on resources page. And whenever I put switches in here, I always format this on a question because yes is on and no is off. So we'll save that and then we'll say, let's put my year of saying yes. We'll feature that. So you see it's on, that means yes. And then we'll do logo designs, feature that. And this one. Okay. I'll just pull that up in the stack. There we go. Okay. So under here, we're going to need to do this slider, and we've already done this on our content template right there. So we'll go ahead and pull this whole content container, paste it into resources. So we don't need this heading, and we've got our related content here. Don't need this one column over here. And the only thing that we really need to do here is change this to filter out, oops, over here, by featured. So we find that in our, whoa, where'd it go? Feature on resources page is on. Save that, it automatically filters that stuff out. And we just check it against our design. So we need to add a text link. No big deal. Hey, Israel, thank you for the follow. Go ahead and convert this back to a div, and throw this ink block. And we'll do the same thing that we did before and create CTAs that are more appropriate for the post type. You okay? My wife just fell straight out the closet. So again, we're just setting conditional visibility to make sure that we're pulling the right content type. This is going to be article. And this is going to be video. There we go. All right, so the only thing that's kind of messed up here is our text link block. I think is set to, maybe this is, I see. Let's see if this changes it here. Change our add a class to our link block. Cool. What's that? Check this against our resources. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yep. Obviously, we don't want to pull in all of these placeholder images, which is why you're seeing the same image over and over again. Oh, we've got one more small CTA here, which is the current office setup. So we'll go ahead and duplicate this. Add a new section. Throw this down there and basically just switch our orientation so that the image is on the other side. Office setup, and I'll pull this copy here. Okay, so that'll be the link to all the cool office desk setup stuff that I've got going on. And what do we have? Got a link to collab. All right. Okay, so let's recap what we did today. Today was pretty intense. We did the resources page, so we've got 2 collection lists on this page, a featured like content area. And then we've got our grid collection here, which we're gonna be filtering pretty soon. I'm gonna change this just a little bit. Make this bottom padding just a little bit smaller. There we go. And then we got our content system taken care of. We've fixed all of our collection items in the back end. And we added basically a multi-content type functionality to our content template page. So if we have a podcast, it pulls in the podcast embed, and if we have a video, it pulls in the video. Pretty productive day. And you can see we're starting to move faster as we go. I'm still want to change this nav bar area. I might even want to get rid of that logo there and then replace this. This is not a good logo. I gotta redo that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we're progressing through this. So what do you guys think? Hanging in there? Hope this stuff is valuable. I know for some of the more advanced developers, it's kind of basic 101. But if you're new to Webflow, don't be overwhelmed. I would just jump in and start trying to do what you want to do, and you'll eventually figure stuff out. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for me. I'm going to call it a day. Next stream will be next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, we'll hopefully wrap up with our desktop design and move into our responsive stuff and then do some of the fancy animations. We definitely need to work on the menu opening and closing, because that's going to be a huge interaction. The light mode and dark mode, and then we're going to follow that tutorial on how to add noise in the background. So yeah, that's it. All right, guys, we're not going to do a raid today. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Having you here, it helps me focus. It